Hello, my fellow baddies. I'm Kat Pinning, and this is Kat's Got Your Terror, where I tell you and a guest in my manner of death something that I find terrifying, so I'm not the only one with nightmares. Our special guest joining us at the manor today has been called the Maestro of San Diego. Some call him the Dreamweaver. He goes by many names: Taylor Peckham, Tom Peachum, and I, for reasons that aren't important, sometimes call him Cece. He's one of my nearest and dearest. It's Taylor Peckham.
Hi, Kat. Hi, everybody.
Thanks for joining me, Tay.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited about this.
Okay, so I wasn't sure what to talk about with you today because you weren't really one to get spooked very easily. The last time I tried to scare you, talking about haunted dolls, you called out Robert the doll, who's like a notorious entity in a doll, and you like straight up called him out and tried to get him to haunt you, and you
that
still
dude
stand.
wussed out. Robert, you are weak, brother. He didn't come for me at all. I'm just telling you right now, Robert's hiding. I don't know what he's doing, where he is. Anyway, didn't get me.
So I decided that for today, I would just tell you about something that's haunted me since I was in elementary school.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? I think it's going to stay with you too.
Okay, I'm ready.
What do you know about spontaneous human combustion?
Well, I didn't know that it happened. I will tell you this. Human combustion, I did know, but that's mainly after like a bad lasagna. But that's a different thing, and I apologize for bringing that up here, especially for those that might be lactose intolerant, like a certain other member of this household. Anyway, I know nothing about spontaneous human combustion.
So my intro to spontaneous human combustion was from an episode of my childhood bedtime stories, a little show called Unsolved Mysteries.
Ooh, okay.
A segment that appeared in season 9, episode 14, and it legit has haunted me ever since. I think I was more afraid of spontaneously combusting than of being kidnapped as a kid.
So the idea is, and you're going to tell me more, but
100%.
But I'm sorry, you know what you get when you invite me here.
Yeah, of course.
You're sitting in your lazy boy one Sunday, and you're having a Cracker Jack. You're just sitting on the couch, loving your life.
Yeah, as you do.
As
you
we
sit in your
all
lazy boy.
do. As we, excuse me.
I know when I walk into Taylor's house at any point in time, he's in his lazy boy having a Cracker Jack, as he likes to call it. Anyway, continue.
I said what I said. So you're sitting in your lazy boy having a Cracker Jack, and all of a sudden, your entire self explodes, or you just catch on fire, or is it like your arm just, whoa, what's going on? Or your face, or what is it?
Maybe it's all of them.
Ooh, look out. I'm scared. Okay, I'm ready.
The story that stuck with me the most was in this segment of Unsolved Mysteries, and it's about a woman who survived. Her name was Kay Fletcher, and on February 11th in 1996, a little after 9 a.m., as she finished rinsing her coffee mug in the sink, as we all do, smoke suddenly began to billow from Kate's body, specifically her back. Calling out to her husband, Mike, Kay desperately began tearing off her clothes, trying to find the source and extinguish the flame. With her clothing removed, they began examining her back, and she had no visible signs of burns. Where they expected to be scalded skin was just redness.
Whoa.
No sign of fire damage at all.
Whoa.
Kate's clothes were unsinged and unmarked, yet the smoke that emitted from Kate was so thick that they had to open a window and turn on the kitchen fan just to clear it.
What, Kate? Kate?
Yes, Kate.
Kate.
Mike, Kate's husband, who previously worked at a crematorium, said he knew the smell of burning flesh. Weird flex.
Of course he did.
Yeah. It's just like how you do like sneak that. He was like, listen, I know what burning flesh smells like.
Uh-huh.
And there was no doubt in his mind that that was the smell.
Mike.
I know. Crazy,
Whoa.
right?
Yuck.
So spontaneous human combustion is the idea that a living human body can combust without an obvious external source of ignition.
Whoa.
The theory having been discussed since the 17th century, but there is no scientific explanation that has been widely accepted.
Wow.
The first...
Whoa. Sorry, taking it in. Taking it in.
No, it's a lot, right? Because it's one of those things that you don't have probably never really considered, right? That is something that absolutely can happen.
Because not all of us are Mike.
I've
never been around
flesh.
burning flesh in my entire life.
I don't think Mike knew about spontaneous human combustion. He just knew what flesh smelled like.
I don't know. Mike sounds like he's an expert on everything. I mean, what the hell? People are like, yeah, I'm thinking of getting a new refinancing my home. And he goes, I got a thing on a mortgage. Mike, shut up. Mike, shut up. You hear me? Shut up.
He's just calling out.
Sorry, go ahead. Mike needs to take it down.
Mike, Everybody's getting called out today.
Take down a notch. This is what I'm here to do. With no repercussions, I'm here to make direct threats. Okay, keep going.
We're gonna write
Mike,
That's what's gonna
Robert.
be written on your gravestone.
Hell yeah. It's
With
gonna be
no
big.
repercussions, I'm here to make direct threats.
Yes.
Taylor Peckham.
Uh-huh.
Quote it, cut it, quote it.
Check it off.
There's our teaser.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So the first case of spontaneous human combustion on record took place in the late 1400s when an Italian knight named, bear with me, Polonius Vorstusius? We're going to go with that. Sure. It's Italian, not Russian, but
Got it.
whatever.
But yeah.
Allegedly burst into flames in front of his own parents.
Whoa.
The knight had enjoyed a few glasses of strong wine with his parents at his home in Milan.
Here we go.
When he reportedly burped fire.
Here we go.
And succumbed to the flames and died.
Here we go. This one goes out to all those parents out there who told your kids, do not drink until you're 21 because you know what's going to happen? You're going to burst into flames. Guess what? They were speaking the truth. This dude over here, Parmesan.
Polonus?
Whatever his name was.
We're going to go with Polonus.
Polonus Parmesan.
Yeah, Polonus Parmesan.
He was out here having a glass of Merlot, and then all of a sudden, he Merloted up into flames. I mean, what the hell? This is crazy.
Into flames.
Yeah, I said what I said. All right. Sorry. This is crazy.
No. That's my next t-shirt.
Yeah.
He merlot into flames.
Yeah, mermaid and mermaid. You know what I mean? There's others where that came from. We'll figure it out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. The Countess Cornelia Zangari de Bandi of Cesena.
One more time for me.
All right.
One more time for me,
One more
please.
time.
The Countess.
One more time with feeling.
Yeah.
The Countess Cornelia Zangari de Bandi.
Ooh, my phone just unlocked. You got to be careful with those passwords.
I'm bricked.
Bricked.
With a name like that.
Cornelia. Yes. Sorry, one more time for me and then keep going.
Okay. Cornelia Zangari de Bandi.
Wow.
Of
Okay.
Cesena.
Love it.
Suffered a similar fate in the summer of 1745. De Bandi went to bed early, and the next morning, the Countess's chambermaid found her in a pile of ashes.
Oh.
Only her partially burned head and stocking-adorned legs remained.
Whoa.
Although De Bandi had 2 candles in the room, and the wicks were untouched and intact.
Uh-huh.
So, like, the wax was burnt away, but, like, the wick was still standing and was intact and unburned.
Okay.
So the legs being left behind is a common theme. That's, I would say, the hallmark telltale of spontaneous human combustion is a pile of ashes and a foot or a leg from like the knee down.
What does this mean?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
So, for example, for the most famous case being the case of Mary Reeser. In July of 1951, Dr. Richard Reeser, Mary's son, was visiting her when she told him she was going to take some sleeping pills and go to bed.
Oh.
At around 5 a.m.
Some sleeping pills?
Some sleeping pills.
Mary had a problem.
This was 1951, and there was...
That's all that needs to be said. Uppers, downers.
This was 1950.
Yeah, we got to live our lives here.
The barbiturates were barbiturates.
Mary worked at MGM. She was a movie star for a little while.
She was taking those ruby red slippers when she was going night-night.
Mary.
That's what was happening.
Okay, so the doctor's son goes, you're going to take how many?
No. Yeah, so the doctor's son was like, live your life.
Yeah.
He actually probably gave them to her. He was probably like, hey, you take these and go to bed.
Here we go.
He's like, that's enough out of you, Mom. You go to bed.
He prescribed them.
He was visiting. Well, it said actually in one of the things that I was reading, it said that she was like upset that she didn't get to go away for the summer.
Okay.
So maybe she was like ranting and raving to her son, and he was like, "That's enough. Go to bed, Mom." Like, I get it. You're mad you didn't get to go to the
If we're going to see
Cape.
1952,
Yeah.
you better go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay.
So anyway.
Mary.
Anyway, at around 5 a.m, Mary's landlady smelled smoke and went to check on Mary and noticed the doorknob was hot. After rousing a couple neighbors for help, when they finally gained entry into Mary's apartment, all that was left of Mary Reeser was a pile of soot, a few pieces of spine, a shrunken skull, and one of Mary's undamaged feet still wearing a slipper.
Look out. Wait, a shrunken skull?
Yeah, so
What
the
does that
shrunken
mean?
skull, honestly being the weirdest part, because fire investigators will tell you, usually when the body is involved in a fire, the skull explodes because the brain actually cooks and expands. Think egg in a microwave.
This is incredible.
Right.
Whoa.
So a shrunken skull is unusual and has been reported in other cases. An investigator said that in order for Mary's body to be so thoroughly cremated, she would have had to have burned at least 3,000 degrees for 3 to 4 hours.
Hell yeah.
Yet there was very little damage done to Mary's apartment.
And sleeping pills are not jet fuel like flammable. We know this for a fact. We've talked to the doctor. Doctor's son Richard.
So the sleeping pills may have had a part in it, but not like that.
Okay.
So, and in fact, the damage done to Mary's apartment was odd. Light switches and electric receptacles, which I meant to look into what an electric receptacle is, but
It's kind of like email.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
In 1951, light switches and electric receptacles that were on the wall 3 feet above the ground were melted, but switches lower than that weren't.
Here we go. Short King.
Candles on a nearby shelf were melted, but the wick stood upright.
Look out.
So again, all the wax was gone, but the wick was still there, completely untouched.
Oh, boy.
A stack of newspapers only a few feet away didn't catch fire. But the area around the scene, Mary's rug, was coated in a grease-like substance.
Grease, huh?
Like a greasy-like substance. And that's actually a common theme too. So like usually it's like they're found just a pile of ashes, usually a foot or a skull. Or like some shards of bone. And then there's always like a grease left behind. Like either on the ground or on the walls. There's like some sort of film and well, don't worry. Don't
grease
you worry.
On the walls.
Don't you worry. I'm gonna tell you all
Grease
about the
on
grease
the
on the
walls,
walls.
on the walls.
Because grease
and
is the
get
word.
You know?
Yeah. Grease is the word that you are we gonna get copyright stricken for that? Okay, well anyway.
No, I sang it so badly it's not even close. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Also, I'm here to make direct threats. Lawyers, come for me. Copyright people, come get me, baby.
That's right. Direct
come
threats.
and get it. All right, sorry, keep going.
Fire investigators were at a loss. Law enforcement was stumped. They sent away samples to the FBI for testing, including the chair Mary was found in. So she was like, technically she was in front of the chair. Well, her legs were.
She took a couple sleeping pills. Some say 9. And then she sat in a chair?
I guess.
Mary's life.
Her remains and the slipper, which all came back negative for accelerants or anything flammable.
Here we go.
But they did, however, get a result for the oily substance they found coating Mary's rug.
Which was?
It was melted human fat.
Yes! Come on! When are you ever going to have that test come back positive? You work at the testing place. They're saying, oh, yeah, this one had hay in it. This one's got plywood. When are you ever going to have the human fat box checked? That must have been the best day of that dude's life working at that factory. Holy hell.
Someday I'll tell you about another case where there is, in fact, that box got checked in a completely different way.
I'm ready.
We're talking about, like, testing breakfast sausage and coming back that there's human fat in it.
No.
Yeah. I'll tell you about that.
I'll
tell you
awesome.
all about that another time.
This is awesome. Subscribe. Hit that button right down there.
So anyway, here's how spontaneous human combustion works.
Okay.
Some type of chemical reaction occurs which causes cells to ignite. Some say this is the release of enzymes that drastically increase cell metabolism and body temperature. Others say static electricity builds up inside the body over time and eventually a spark creates a fire. Internal fluids are converted into flammable gas like methane, or the bacteria in the gut create a large amount of methane. Methane is the accelerant. Now you've got fire. But in order to cremate a body fully, you have to burn really hot and really slowly for hours. You need a fuel source. Any guesses as to what that fuel source might be in the human body? Remember Mary's rug?
Could it be fat?
Yes. That was the grease from the fat in Mary's body. It melted and pooled there.
Knew it.
So you're probably asking yourself, but how does the fire start? No one really knows.
Here we go. Spontaneous.
And there honestly could be more than one answer.
Oh, baby.
A man named Larry Arnold, who in the clips on Unsolved Mysteries, they do like an interview with him because of course.
Yeah.
He has the sweetest mullet you've ever seen.
Yes.
It's so good.
Larry.
And it's like 96.
Yeah.
So you're
yeah.
homie, hold on to it.
Larry Arnold.
Yeah, Larry Arnold. the man with two first names.
We love it.
A man named Larry Arnold investigated over 400 cases of possible spontaneous human combustion and released a book called Ablaze, The Mysterious Fires of Spontaneous Human Combustion. Also, like, naming it Ablaze.
Yes.
It's Ablaze with an exclamation mark.
Yeah. Yep. Sure
Like,
is.
really, like, Larry Baby, of all the book titles, you chose Ablaze.
You know who I bet came up with that name? His brother, Tom.
Tommy Arnold.
Tom Arnold. He's going, I got millions for some reason.
Honestly, his distant cousin.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Ablaze.
Anyway,
is
if you're
nuts.
interested, it's called Ablaze.
Yeah.
And according to his research, there's a subatomic particle called a pyroton that interacts with human cells to create a microscopic nuclear explosion.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I left my calculator in the car. A
Take that in.
pyroton?
Pyroton.
Pyroton. Oh, this is fantastic.
Because,
Wow.
of course, pyro. And then,
And then
anything
ton.
scientific. Yeah, anything scientific ends in ton. You know?
Ah, Don.
Proton.
Woo!
Right? No,
I love
have no
it.
idea. Anyway. Create a microscopic nuclear explosion. In his words, there appears in some cases, there is what we call the human Hiroshima effect, which, okay.
Okay, new band name. John
Human- the
Albright.
human-
Are you taking notes?
the human
Human
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima effect. If that does not go on t-shirts right now. Sorry, keep going.
That at a subatomic level in the human body.
That is so badass. That is so
Also, just
awesome.
like, I'm sorry, the audacity to call it the human Hiroshima effect. Like,
Not my
sir,
idea. Not my idea. That's
Larry.
That's Larry Arnold's
Larry.
idea. Ablaze.
Larry.
Okay.
Anyway,
Uh-huh.
that at a subatomic level in the human body, a chain reaction begins to unleash itself. It radiates literally outward from the subatomic level to the atomic level to the physical structure of the human body. And in doing so, the tremendous amount of energy released instantaneously vaporizes the moisture content of the body as people become their own self-emulators, their own crematorium.
Whoa.
So basically, like, he's saying that something happens in the body that your body like explodes with such an intense radiant heat that it vaporizes all of your moisture cells, and you basically are your own crematorium. Whoa. Which is crazy.
I had a therapist tell me that once. You know, Taylor, with this behavior, you really are your own crematorium. That I did not see them for more than one session. That was overpriced, and they had a point. Okay, sorry, keep going.
I mean, my answer is always light it on fire, right?
Light it
Like,
up. Dude,
light
we
it
got
on
the
fire.
fire right here.
I do.
Excuse me.
I bring the fire.
Get it. Clip it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Woo!
That's going to be written on my gravestone.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I bring the fire, and now I'm in the fire. Anyway.
I love that. I bring the fire, and now I
I'm
am
in
the fire. Oh,
just walking
that's
around going,
killing.
it's really not that hot.
Uh-huh.
It's a dry heat.
Oops.
As long as it's a dry heat.
Come on.
Anyway, however, in New Scientist magazine,
Are you saying nude?
that's
Because I subscribe to one of those. Okay, keep going.
my favorite documentary.
Keep going. Yeah. Bill Nye has a crazy spread in there, you guys.
Bill Nye's
Whoa.
OnlyFans.
Whoa.
Insane.
Whoa. Yeah.
In
Serious.
New Scientist, New, N-E-W,
Thank you.
New Scientist
Thank you.
magazine,
Thank you.
biologist Brian J. Ford suggests spontaneous human combustion can be caused by buildup of acetone in the body. You know, nail polish remover.
Okay.
It's a highly flammable and highly volatile substance, and all humans, surprise, have a small amount of acetone in their bodies. But this can increase with alcohol consumption.
Here we go.
So remember our dear friend who drank some wine and went up in flames?
Our boy.
So
Manchego. What
Yeah.
was his name?
Parmesan was
Parmesan.
what you decided.
That's right.
Yeah,
Gene
yeah.
Parmesan.
Polonus, Parmesan.
Polonus.
It's Polonus.
That's right.
At least it's because it's Polonus. Polonus.
I think you're exactly right.
Yeah. Anyway, which fits that a large number of spontaneous human combustion victims are known heavy drinkers.
Oh.
Also,
Here we go.
Brian Ford said diabetes or a specific kind of diet that could cause human combustion. He mentioned that cells in ketosis could become flammable. Ketosis is the metabolic state that happens when the body is deprived of sucrose. So that keto diet might have you looking hot, but be careful because according to Ford, you literally could catch fire.
I kept thinking to myself, why do they call it diabetes? That's my.
I mean, I didn't want to mention it, but
Tombstone.
like, yeah, that is really interesting that
Your
could
boy's
be,
got it.
that
Okay,
could be
your
a
boy's
thing.
got
Oh, yeah,
it.
are you whipping it out
Camera,
right now?
you see this? Your boy's got it.
Wow.
And if I catch on fire, tell the cops. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, that'll be the first thing I tell the cops.
Yeah, baby.
The most commonly accepted explanation of spontaneous human combustion is the wick effect. In a candle, the wick is a piece of braided fiber, usually cotton, in the center of wax. Wax is a hydrocarbon with a low melting point at a low burning temperature. As the wick slowly burns down, wax is melted around the flame and converted into gas. At the same time, wax is pulled up through the wick in a process called capillarity. A candle burns slowly and evenly, and the heat goes straight up. So, like, if you were to put, let's say, a newspaper near a candle flame, it probably won't catch fire unless it's above the flame.
Okay.
The wick effect with spontaneous human combustion works the same way, although technically a human is an inside-out candle,
Uh-oh.
if you think about it.
Uh-oh.
Side note, if you were a scented candle, what kind of scented candle would you be? I would definitely be the almond croissant candle.
Oh, that's a good choice. That's a candle directly from Paris, France. Some might say Paris.
Not just the croissant one, the almond one, because it's sweet.
Ooh, it is
It's
so good.
sweeter.
I'm gonna go with the Larry Arnold scented candle, and I'm gonna call my
And that
candle
smells like what?
Ablaze. And here's how it smells.
Okay.
No words, just that.
Yeah, no words, just
Yeah, I'm Mike. It's
Face
Mike's
movement.
favorite. Mike knows that candle really well. Remember, Mike? Let's go all the way back.
burning
to Mike.
flesh candle.
Uh huh.
Ooh, there you go. That's an idea. Anyway, with the wick effect, the wick for a human would be their clothing. As the body burns, fat tissue is melted. Fat, like wax, is also a hydrocarbon. It burns low and slow and is converted into gas. And when that gas hits walls or objects that are cooler than the air, it converts back into solid fat. That's what makes everything greasy.
Ooh, okay.
This theory has been tested a few times using pig flesh, which is similar to human flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as a heat source can connect to something flammable long enough to start a fire, the wick effect is a real thing.
Wow.
So this can totally explain the cases where victims were smokers and then under the influence. So like if they were smokers and heavy drinkers, they would probably pass out while smoking a cigarette. The cigarette is on them. It catches their clothing on fire. It burns them like a candle.
Wow.
The wick effect.
The wick effect.
Like in Mary's case, she had taken some sleeping pills and was
We remember.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
She's got a problem.
And
Had
apparently,
a problem.
Yeah. And
Burned.
apparently was a notoriously irresponsible smoker.
Oh, Mary.
There were cigarette burns all around her apartment.
Mary.
So
Get yourself.
so I think she had a little habit of taking
And
those,
we are
of taking
to
those
believe
night-night
that she
pills.
didn't just light herself via a cigarette on fire.
No,
in her
that's
bed.
exactly what the wick effect is.
Okay.
So that's what it's saying. Is that
Okay.
like usually these people, they are under some sort of influence, whether it be alcohol, sleeping pills. They fall asleep while they're smoking. They catch fire and it burns them. And because of the wick effect, it only burns them. The fire doesn't travel.
Now I'm with you.
So that's the explanation.
Thank you.
However, that only explains some cases.
Ooh, we better get into it. Come on, kids. Turn the page.
Because-
New
and in-
page for notes. Get
Also,
the pen
though,
out.
However,
Yeah.
in the cases where the victim wasn't a smoker, they were often near a fire source, like an oven or a fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
You
Or a
know, so if they're
crematorium.
sitting next to, so if they're by a oven or a fireplace, let's say an ember or a spark hits them, they catch fire. Again, if they're a heavy drinker, they're incapacitated, they burn to death. That
Wow.
thing. But what about the feet? A slow burning fire like a candle or a human is going to burn straight up. So objects below the fire source, the victim's torso, are going to be fine. So switches low on the wall, papers on a coffee table, or the victim's legs won't burn.
Ah.
But objects above the fire source will be affected, like light switches higher on the wall, plastic picture frames, these would all melt.
Fascinating.
And things directly above the heat source, like the ceiling, always burned really badly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, the wick effect theory does cover most cases, but not all of them. Okay, this one really, this is a new one for me even when I was doing my research, and yikes. In September of 1982.
Oh, modern day.
Oh, we're gonna get even more modern. Just
Ooh,
you wait.
baby.
In September of 1982, 61-year-old Jeannie Saffin was sitting in the kitchen with some of her family, including her father, John Saffin, and her brother-in-law, Don Carroll. It was the middle of the day, no fire was near her, when out of the corner of his eye, John saw a flash of light. He looked at Jeannie, and there was a blue fire coming out of her. Her brother-in-law, Don, said the flame shot from Miss Saffin's stomach. She was roaring like a dragon, he said.
Whoa! Jeannie!
So, like, they report that the flame came from her stomach, and then when she went to scream, fire came out of her mouth.
Holy moly! Whoa! I kind of love it.
He said the kitchen wasn't damaged, but her cardigan melted.
That's the true tragedy.
The inquest never sorted it out, but I know what I saw.
Wow.
An ambulance was called, and Jeannie died 8 days later.
8 days later,
8
she
days later.
emitted flames from her body, and it took another week and a day. Holy hell. What is that week like? Is she just going, remember
So what you're
when I
saying
was
is, like,
fire?
should they have just, like, let her burn?
I don't know, but also, what is that? Like,
I don't know.
Remember when I was
She was
a
also
badass?
61.
Remember
so-
when I was spitting fire? You people told me I'd never be a rapper. Remember Jeannie? Jeannie was awesome. Remember when I spat straight flames? This is in 1982. She was so hip.
I can't.
She was
Oh my
so
God.
hip.
She was literally
She started
spitting fire.
that.
She was
started that whole
spitting
thing.
that fire at 61 years old
Yeah.
in 1982.
Oh yeah, she had bars.
I can't. Bars on bars.
Bars on bars.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
This case has been credited for making many a skeptic investigator into a believer.
Wow, Jeannie.
There has been no official ruling. Her case is still open as to what they
Jeannie.
think happened.
Wow.
The Wick effect also doesn't explain Kay's story. In the beginning, remember, she was in her kitchen. She was just at the sink rinsing her mug.
That's right.
And her oven wasn't on or open. And it definitely doesn't explain the 2013 case
Look out.
of baby Rahul.
Rahul.
Rahul, or as I like to call him, the X-Men baby.
Ooh.
Rahul was only 9 days old when he first caught fire in the presence of his mother, Raj, who watched in disbelief as there was no source of fire in the vicinity.
What?
Yeah.
The baby.
The baby.
9 days.
There was a flame on his belly and his right knee.
Uh-oh.
And my husband rushed in with a towel to put it off. This English is their second language.
Yeah, sure.
She took him to the Villapuram Medical College, where the baby was just discharged 3 days later. After coming home, he suffered burns again. Doctors say he is a healthy child and his organs are fine. The last time he caught fire was a fortnight ago, and this time it was head to toe.
This was not 2013. The last time he caught fire was a fortnight ago.
Well,
this
no,
was 1913. Are you
so this
kidding?
is India, and India is heavily British influenced. Because why? Say it with me now. Colonization.
That's right.
There we go.
Do your homework.
So fortnight
Whoa.
is actually, they say that quite a bit.
Whoa,
'cause
caught
it is
fire was a fortnight ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Said Raj. Raul reportedly broke out in flames 4 times in his first 2.5 months of life.
No. This child, I'm so sorry.
2.5
Let's
months.
give it a gentle
has
coast
burst.
into the after, because that life is not worth living. That is so horrifically awful. Are you kidding
It's really
me?
sad. It's really sad, especially when you see like
Give it a
pictures of
slow
him.
medical coast. Just let him go. Say goodbyes. Let him out. What are you doing? Are you kidding? Keep him alive. He's on fire. Keep him alive.
Wait, what's the baby from The Incredible? Jack Jack like lights on fire, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's doing it. Uh-oh.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
X-Men baby.
Okay. Now I'm there.
Anyway, pediatrician Dr. Babu, who is treating Raul, said the baby emitted some highly combustible gas through his pores.
Okay, LOL. Baby's emitting highly combustible gas. And a new mother.
But through his pores. So maybe that's the problem. Anyway, but that's what made him catch fire. We have not identified the gas yet, said Dr. Babu. So, like, they just know that it's a combustible, flammable gas. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it came from. They don't know.
Holy.
Yep.
Wow.
So yeah, the only answer they have for why this baby just randomly catches fires is that he happens to emit this gas. So they're like, we can't explain it. We don't know why. We just know that he does it, and it catches him on fire. And in another article I read, they basically said the only thing that they can really do to make sure that he doesn't catch fire anymore is that he wear non-flammable materials and is best kept in a cold place.
Oh.
Which, like, same, honestly. I'm best kept in a cold place.
Whoa. This baby has a pretty bad life. Pretty bad
how
life.
sad. Like, they can't, but
So
also
sad.
like crazy. Like, they cannot figure it out. Like, they do not know how this is happening.
Yeah.
And I'll have to look into it. But apparently, so this was 2013. Apparently in 2015, this same mom came back with another baby who is doing the same thing.
Arrest her. She is doing this. There's no doubt in my mind that she is doing
or it's
this.
like some sort of genetic thing.
No way. No way. Mother is doing this, and we need Mother to go to prison.
They thoroughly investigated her. Like, they did the whole thing. Really,
was Papa
truly.
the investigator?
Well, the first thing that
Are
they
you
did,
kidding?
the first thing they did was test the baby, like its skin for accelerants or whatever. Because of course, like, if a mother brings in a child that's exhibiting really bad burns, and she's like, I don't know, he spontaneously caught fire, they're not gonna be like, right.
Yeah.
They're of course gonna go, right.
Uh-huh.
So they did all the investigations and they did all of the things, and sure enough, like, it's
But
just.
then when she brings in the second one,
Which again, it should prove too that it's like.
death to her. Are you kidding me?
Well, no, maybe she just
My
shouldn't.
second baby catches on
Also,
fire.
maybe that's just a sign from the universe to not have babies anymore.
I don't know. This woman needs to just be put in the dungeon. I'm sorry to say it. Lock her up. Like, uh-oh. Hashtag lock her up. Her children are on fire.
What dungeon? Wait, I'm confused.
This
What
is
dungeon?
done. I
Do you
don't
have a
know.
dungeon?
I don't know anything. I've never known anything.
Do you
but
have a dungeon
also,
that I don't know about?
also lock her up.
Also, lock her up.
That is
Dang.
crazy.
Wow.
Whoa. 2 flaming babies.
Like I said, I saw something that briefly mentioned that. I haven't looked into it fully, but I know that the 2013, that case was covered pretty extensively, and they did a lot of research into it. And yeah, basically they just came to the conclusion that he's a gas baby, and you better just dress him in non-flammable materials and
Is
keep
this
him
baby
cold.
still alive?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Is he still on fire?
Still think. I don't think he's caught on fire since, because again, they keep him at low temperatures and wearing non-flammable materials.
Keep him at low temperature. Is it kind of low and slow, baby?
Also, like,
That
could you
is
imagine
wild.
being that kid and being like, hey, I can't come to your house unless it's guaranteed 60 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, like,
What a
sleepovers
great
are
way.
a nightmare for that kid.
What a great way to get what you want, too.
Oh, 100%.
Hey, you're going to have to turn the AC on before I get there. Why? What'll happen? I don't know. I'm going to be on fire, dummy. I'm going to burn your house down on accident. Oh, my goodness. Talk to my mother, who's in prison. You know what I mean? That child is going to have a tough
Any more
go.
thoughts on spontaneous combustion? Any questions?
Whoa. Well, I've got a lot of thoughts, but I think most of them I just kind of have to think on. I love knowing that this has happened so many times. I love that there's a dude that went, you know what? I'm going to write a book. I love that.
It's happened so many times that a guy wrote a book.
Larry Arnold.
Yeah.
And I love that he also thinks, my life's normal. Larry, what's Larry doing now? I want to know what other books Larry has written. Because if it turns out there's a theme, we're going to need Larry to go to jail with that mother. These people are doing something. They're doing something. They're obsessed with it. And you can quote me on that.
And when I was looking through these cases, honestly, a lot of them can be explained by the wick effect. Like, a lot of them do sound like they're elderly, they're incapacitated, they fall asleep with a cigarette,
Right.
they fall asleep near a fireplace.
And the
sitting-
wick
and then,
effect
like,
is different than wick-in.
Right. The wick
Different.
yeah, very different.
Okay.
2 completely different things.
Okay. Fair enough.
But there are some that genuinely don't fit that explanation. Like in 2015, in Germany, witnesses say a woman burst into flames while she sat on a bus bench with no apparent cause.
And that is because she littered in the street. And in Germany, they take that very seriously.
Or demons.
Oh.
It's always demons.
Oh, could be that too.
Speaking of demons.
Here we go.
Taylor, you have something you want to present, right? To the class?
Oh, yes, I do. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so remember when I was saying that it was hard to scare Taylor because Taylor loves to just call out these entities.
Yeah.
He's prepared a little something.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little more of this. And here's what I'd love to do. I'd love to treat this as a scientific experiment. I'm looking right down the barrel for
Again,
this.
our scientific experiment.
I've looked up a list of the 20 most feared beings.
Buckle up.
And I'm going to go through the ones that interest me. I'm going to leave out the boring ones. So we're going to start with the Mothman. You know about the Mothman?
Oh, he's behind you.
Which one?
Right there. Literally right behind you. Yeah,
There
you
is.
go.
Mothman. Here's the deal. Okay? I've come home before to a moth on my front door. And you know what I did to that moth? It did not put up a fight. It did not haunt me. That moth was ended immediately, painlessly. It was humane. I'll do the same to you if you come for me. So try it.
Okay.
That's
Do you know
Mothman.
anything about Mothman? Do you know
No,
how
I don't,
big Mothman
and I don't care
is?
to know. Jersey Devil, okay? Creature with bat-like wings, a horse's head, and
I gotta
hooves.
cover the Jersey Devil. He's a good one.
Jersey Devil was also the name of my uncle, and he is just getting out of jail. So I say, you know what? Go for it. Jersey Devil, who cares? What about this? You know who else is on this list? It's worth repeating. Robert the Doll.
You love Robert Dillon. I stand by, though.
Robert?
I think you have to call out Robert. I think you have to be in his presence. I think we have to go. I think we have to road trip to Florida. You know, we've always talked about it.
No.
And you have
No.
to be in his presence to call him out. I think that's the thing. I think you have to be there in front of him. I don't think this counts.
I refuse. Going to him, that is the ultimate form of weak, powerless behavior, Robert. You're going to have to do better than me coming to you. Excuse me. No, absolutely. Would you like another Mai Tai, Mr. Robert? Absolutely not. Come get me if you want me. Annabelle, a supposed haunted Raggedy Ann doll.
Okay.
The Ed and Lorraine
Okay, wait,
Warren.
wait,
What's that?
TBH, the true story of Annabelle
Yeah.
is fucked.
Okay.
Like, is
well, here's what she can do. Come get me.
that is a Taylor Peckham.
Okay.
That is Taylor.
Hey,
That
Anna.
is Taylor.
Hey, Anna.
has
Annabelle.
no-
I'm speaking directly to you, honey.
I'm
Look
not.
me in the
It's
eye.
not me, it's him.
I'm being patronizing
I didn't
on
do it.
purpose because you have no power here. Come get me and make it count.
Again, that's
okay?
Taylor Peckham. You can find him at
What about the Goat Man? What about the Goat Man?
Goat Man? I
we
should
know
cover
about the
him
Goat Man?
along with the Jersey Devil.
You know about the Goat
'Cause they
Man?
kinda go hand in
There's only room for one goat, and that goat is Simone Biles. If you try to come for another Goat Man, it's gonna end you, okay? So I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you to do anything, goat.
Dead.
Because there's only one goat, and that's Simone Biles. Anyway, I'm gonna follow up with you, Kat. If anything
I
happens,
can't wait to follow up.
because I'll tell you this, it won't. Nothing will happen. Robert, so help me.
Again,
if
and
you
that's Taylor.
even try, it's not gonna happen.
That's Taylor.
Boo boo.
I have
Mothman.
nothing to do with this.
Mothman, I double dog moth dare you.
Also,
you ever had a
Mothman-
moth dare? I moth dare you, dummy.
Also, wow, what an excellent throwback to the first episode of season 1. The first episode of season 1 was Mothman. And clearly you know nothing about Mothman.
I know everything about Mothman,
Okay.
including how much of a pussy. he is. Mothman, come get me. Just try it. Try it.
Dead.
I'll squash you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks for that, Tay.
That's what I'm here for. Thanks for inviting me.
And thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this episode on spontaneous human combustion, a very real occurrence with some explanation, but nothing is certain, which honestly is the most terrifying part. It really could happen to anyone at any time. I mean, I'm sure you're fine though, except due to the diabetes, you are on a low sugar diet. You have been known to enjoy a drink, and don't you have a fireplace? Until we meet again, happy terrors.